Hello, and welcome to Headlines, your official news source of everything Peters Township. I'm Brianna Lutz.
And I'm Phil Ferrara. On Friday, November 2nd, Peters Township High School served host to a very special guest, author Philip Beard. The author was the feature attraction for the November Library Luncheon, which is sponsored monthly by librarian Terry Morrison. Beard was available for discussion on his book, Dear Zoe, and also to field any questions from students.
Well, when a writer who grows up in the
comes the writers that you read that are your inspiration. I think my first literary love was probably J.D. Salinger. It was probably the first writer that told me that maybe I could write because you didn't have to use flowery language.
The National Honor Society here at Peters Township High School will be collecting gently used shoes of all styles and sizes. The deadline for donations has been extended through December 19th. The shoes donated will be distributed through charities located in the Dominican Republic. Drop-off boxes are and will continue to be located in each homeroom at PTHS and also at the PT Rec Center. On the evening of Tuesday, December 4th, the Trinity Bell Choir will be playing at Peters Township High School beginning at 7:30. The program will last an hour and refreshments will be served. Registration is preferred and available at the circulation desk in the Peters Township Public Library.
This past November 8th was Election Day for Washington County Commissioner. Residents of Peters Township could go to any of the several designated voting sites to cast their ballots. Democrats Brayton Burns, Lawrence Maggie, and Diana Irie were voted Washington County Commissioners. In 2004, Peters Township celebrated its 100th graduating class. During the first century, the district schools have endured remarkable advancement and growth. Peters Township has come a long way from one-room classrooms and class sizes of only 2. The district now educates more than 4,000 students and ranks among the best school districts in the area.
It is my pleasure to confirm your graduation from Peters Township High School and to welcome you into the ranks of Peters Township High School alumni.
Over 300 students received high school diplomas in June of 2007 from Peters Township High School. Public education was introduced to Peters Township in 1835. One of the first public school buildings was a one-room house called the Bowers House, which today holds the name Bower Hill Elementary and educates hundreds of young students in grades K through 3. In 1902, 5 men established Peters Township's first high school. Unlike the graduating class of 2007, the first graduating class of 1903 consisted of only 2 students, both women, Emily Matthews and Mary Patterson. The school is now the popular restaurant, The Classroom. As student population continued to increase, renovations and additions were made not only to the high school, but to the elementary schools as well. Today's current school was opened to students on September 18, 1968, but has undergone several renovations since its initial construction. Today, Peters Township School District consists of 3 elementary schools, Bower Hill Elementary and Pleasant Valley Elementary, both educating grades K through 3. McMurray Elementary with grades 4 through 6, a middle school located off East of McMurray Road, educating grades 7 and 8, and the high school educating grades 9 through 12. The district has certainly come a long way from its one-room school days in 1903. With over 4,000 young students, it holds a bright and promising future. In June of 2008, a new graduating class will receive their diplomas as they lead the township into the future along with them.
For more information about the history of Peters Township Schools, visit the district website at ptsd.k12.pa.us.
While online, check out the Pleasant Valley website and meet kindergarten teacher Tracy Stunick. She was one of 12 finalists in Pennsylvania for the 2007 Teacher of the Year. On behalf of the PTHS Media Department, we would like to congratulate Mrs. Stunick on this accomplishment. The most celebrated holiday in America, the most traveled day of the year, is held annually on the 3rd Thursday in November. But Thanksgiving, or Turkey Day, is much more than just a chaotic family get-together. Family traditions and warm memories are developed every year. For more information on Thanksgiving, we turn to our man on the street, Clinton Amond.
For Thanksgiving, I had a delicious turkey dinner with all the fixins and cherry pie. I had so much fun with my family. Let's see what all the kids at Peters Township High School did for Thanksgiving.
Went to the soup kitchen with my family, and we served food to the needy people, and then we went to my aunt's house after for our own Thanksgiving dinner.
I had 2 Thanksgiving dinners. It was great.
I had turkey. I ate Chinese food with my Asian relatives.
I had turkey with my family.
Dinner with my family.
Thanksgiving in my house is like the classics. You have your SpaghettiOs, Pop-Tarts, and Mr. Pibb. It is a good combination.
Thanks, Clinton. So, Bree, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. I went to my aunt's house and we had a lot of food. It was so much fun.
Oh, that really sounds like my Thanksgiving.
Here's what's coming up next on Headlines. See which PTHS students are dancing their way to a national championship in Orlando, Florida, and who is running around barefoot in PTHS. Plus, hear from students that had a unique out-of-body experience.
Poison Center, can I help?
What's the number on the bill, man?
Su niña estaba fuera.
What a day. Started with a call from the factory in town. There'd been a chemical spill, and a number of the employees had breathed in the fumes.
This mom called because her 2-year-old got into some old blue pills, and she was scared.
And then I got a snake bite call from the emergency room. We supplied an antivenom.
I made sure that everybody got out into the fresh air, and then I told them what to watch for.
She calmed down when she heard me speak in Spanish. I told her that her little one would be okay.
I explained how to use the new antidote. The patient is feeling much better.
They called quickly, and everyone was fine.
I called back to see how both of them were. She was so grateful.
I was glad to teach them something new.
Experts at your local poison control center are ready to give you free, confidential expert advice 24/7. Call 1-800-222-1222.
Chronic pain is one of America's most urgent and ignored health issues. Each year we spend millions of dollars on medical research for painful diseases and conditions, but while we wait for cures, people are still suffering. Quietly, secretly, terribly. It's time for relief. That's why Congress has declared this the Decade of Pain Control and Research. To learn more, visit decadeofpain.org.
E-File. Get receipt confirmation and a quicker refund. Log on or tell your tax preparer to e-file for you and join the 53 million e-filers who consider it done.
Welcome back to Headlines. I'm Phil Ferrara.
And I'm Brianna Lutz. Later this month, Peters Township will once again play host to all the talent that the high school has to offer at Coffee House 2007. The community will try to find a seat in the high school cafeteria to listen in as students showcase their musical and comedic abilities. The annual event is always a tough ticket, so you should show up early to grab your front row seat to all the great performances. This year, the Thespian Troupe will perform their adaptation of Barefoot in the Park. Written in the early 1960s by Neil Simon, the play focuses on a newlywed couple trying to settle into a new home in Manhattan.
Each year at Peters Township High School, there are several plays presented by the Thespian Troupe 185. The current production is a comedy called Barefoot in the Park. The play is to be directed by Mr. Wood and student directed by Dan DeLuca. The stage manager is Olivia Bear. The lead role is played by Lindsay Bear and also Ben West.
It's simply because it is one of the funniest comedies of the 20th century. I directed it before in the 80s, and we did it in the round, and we're doing it in the round again, and it's the kind of show that people will have a good time with. We're laughing through the rehearsals, and the audience will too.
The Thespians are planning to perform Barefoot in the Park on January 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. This is Tom Norton reporting for Headlines.
Be sure to catch the upcoming production of Barefoot in the Park at Peters Township High School. Since the beginning of the school year, Amy Trotnick and Dana Aaron have been busy understanding the challenges and rewards of physical therapy. Mortland's Physical Therapy, located here in Peters, began offering zealous high school students the opportunity of a lifetime. While gaining 100 hours of internship experience, the girls will be well prepared for future careers in physical therapy.
The Mansfield University Jazz Ensemble performed in the high school auditorium. After the concert, the members of the Peters Township Jazz Band had the opportunity to perform under the direction of Mansfield Orchestra leader Dr. Mike Galloway. This was a great opportunity for those students to learn under the direction of a first-class conductor. A gym, indoor track, and multi-purpose room are not all that the Peters Township Community Recreation Center has to offer. The Rec Center also allows residents to enroll in activities such as Pilates or holiday craft making.
The Peters Township Recreational Center is not only a sports center, but a great place for families to get together. From art classes to dance to running on the track, it is also a place to have fun, not just for fitness activities. In addition, the Rec Center has also added a skate park, which is a safe place for skaters all over the township.
Every month there is a flyer that goes out in all the mails to the residents, and you can look at that for all information on the classes and stuff, and then you come in and you can sign up for the classes, and there's tons of activities like the stuff at Halloween, at Christmas, and stuff like that.
The Rec Center is also a popular place for high school sports to practice. There are multi-purpose rooms on both sides of the Rec Center used for class activities, crafts, and lessons. The Peters Township Rec Center has activities for all ages. This has been Shaylin Giovanetti reporting for Headlines.
The Rec Center is open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. To get more information about the Rec Center, call 724-942-5000.
For Dr. Robert Dell, 2007 marks 35 years of service to Peters Township High School. Doc has been the face of all things music and is a vital instrument to the Mighty Indian Marching Band's yearly productions. His leadership has sent many of his students to a career in music, as well as bringing great attention to the marching band. His students would like to have a word.
You know, Dr. Dell has definitely taught us a lot in his 35 years of teaching, but I think the education went a lot more than just teaching us about notes, about music. I mean, I think he taught us to be ready for life.
Dr. Dell is a great teacher and a very inspirational person. He's been doing this for a while.
He's a great guy. He wants to teach kids about music and the way music works, everything about it. I mean, he could have stopped a long time ago, but he keeps going because he loves it so much.
Oh, well, he's a really good. He's inspired me a lot about music, and his enthusiasm is just great.
So thanks a lot, Dr. Dell.
On November 3rd, the PTHS dance team participated in the Jam Fest competition held at the Peterson Event Center. Varsity competed in the All-Star Division and placed second out of 6 teams. JV placed first in their division. We would also like to extend special congratulations to the JV dance team, who competed on November 17th at the Elite State Championships. The girls took first place in hip-hop, top performance score, most innovative choreography, and finally, dance grand champions. Good luck to both teams as the competitive season continues.
On October 8th marked the opening of the Carnegie Science Center's highly anticipated bodies exhibit. This exhibit displayed 15 preserved corpses as well as vital organs. PTHS personal wellness and anatomy students took a field trip and experienced the excitement of this controversial display. Let's hear what they had to say.
The bodies exhibit helped me to learn about the body.
I thought that I got to learn a lot of new things about the body.
And I liked all the circulatory system with all the nerves and arteries.
You got to see parts of the brain, how they work.
I really liked holding the heart.
It was neat to see the body in a really different way.
I thought it was cool how we could see inside the body.
Especially the fetus, it was interesting to see how a human being develops.
And the smoker's lungs part.
You touched a real heart and a real brain.
It was pretty cool.
My favorite part was where I got to hold the brain and the liver and the hands-on part.
It was a lifetime experience. You got to touch a brain and heart. You got to see circulatory system and a bunch of other stuff too.
As an anatomy student, I thought that the exhibit was very interesting and a lifetime experience.
I'm definitely going to have to check that out. Stick around to see what's next on Headlines. Find out what president visited 2 Peters Township elementary schools and learn about a piece of history in our own community. Also, see how technology is influencing the music department here at Peters Township High School, next on Headlines.
Is good for your health and can help stop type 2 diabetes in its tracks if you're at high risk. With your help, we can move a little closer to finding a cure. Together, we can get there, one step at a time. Get involved. Form a team. Everyone walks away a winner. Take the first step. Call today.
And this will be Daddy's tree. So even when Daddy's not here anymore, you'll have something.
Neil Smith was diagnosed with cancer and given 90 days to live. That was 22 years ago. Before you decide you can't survive cancer, talk with someone who has. Call the RA Block National Cancer Hotline, 1-800-433-0464, or blockcancer.org.
this operation in Korea.
For more than half a century, we've been there when called. When the Korean conflict erupted, we were there.
So soon.
And in Washington, the Defense Department announced troop increases meant to offset the...
When needed in Southeast Asia, we were there. When you witnessed the Gulf War on TV, we were there. And when needed at home, we are there every day. Whenever and however we're needed, we are there. We've been protecting freedom for more than 50 years. From Korea to the war on terrorism, we've stood ready to serve. We are the men and women of the Air Force Reserve, always there, always ready to go above and beyond.
Welcome back to Headlines. I'm Brianna Lutz.
And I'm Phil Ferrara. Combining musical and theatrical talent, PTHS teacher Ryan Parati and his students are working to produce a radio show. For the second consecutive year, they are using new technology to tell a story about a boy and his travels through time.
This is the second year in a row that Mr. Parati's computer music class has created a radio show. This year's plot is based on a little boy traveling through time. There are a variety of different characters representing different time periods throughout American history. Mr. Parati and his class work very hard to record and edit these projects. This year, they are working to recreate a podcast.
Now, with the technology that we have, we're able to do things like podcasting. Podcasting being one of the top things that iTunes, of course, brings out. We did a show last year called My Pirate Adventure. It was a show, it's all in your head. And there were a lot of different people involved, actors, the computer music class. We had some instrumentalists come in and do different things. So it was kind of a neat grouping of people, cross-curricular as well, that we were able to help with create this program.
This has been Natalie Palamides reporting.
Mr. Parati and the students are working hard to record and edit the radio show. When finished, the show will be distributed over the internet as a podcast.
Peters Township High School holds an annual competition in which students have the opportunity to present speeches pertaining to a specified topic. This year's Voice of Democracy contest features Katie Kushma, a freshman from PTHS, now the contest coordinator, PTHS English teacher, Mrs. Stevenson, with more on this talented young speaker.
This year's Voice of Democracy winner was Katie Kushma, a freshman, who was inspired to partake in the contest from her older brother, who won the district level and went on to the state level in Harrisburg. And she got to go to the banquet, and she was just so inspired by the title that she felt a responsibility to write. And this year's contest title, each year it changes, was My Role in Honoring America's Veterans. So congratulations, Katie, and we wish you the best of luck.
This past October, Abraham Lincoln visited Bower Hill and McMurray Elementary Schools. Actor Richard Fritz Klein, a Lincoln impersonator, put on assemblies at both schools. These performances allowed students to learn about Abe Lincoln in a fun and informative way. On November 5th, Indiana University of Pennsylvania hosted the Native American Awareness event. IUP's Native American Awareness Council's goal is to blend the historic Native American culture with modern society. The council intends to make the event an annual celebration of Native American heritage, culture, and lifestyle.
While some township residents may recognize photographs of historical Peters Township, many of them probably do not know that they don't have to travel far to experience part of the rich history that this community possesses. The Wright House, built in 1816, is now a national landmark and can be toured and used for special occasions.
The Wright House in Venetia showcases the rich history of our township. Mr. Vaughn Daly, a social studies teacher at Peters Township Middle School, has taken a special interest in this historic place.
And a couple things you ought to know about the Wright House is this. In my opinion, it's Peters Township's #1 historical treasure, because the site originally had a log cabin. The log cabin looked something like this. This is a log cabin that dates to about the 1790s that was brought to this site several years ago. It was donated by a Peters Township resident and was placed here on the Wright House property. It's not the original one. That one's, of course, gone. But this gives you an idea as to what the first home of the Wright probably like here in Peters Township. Then the Wright House itself, which was begun in 1815, completed in 1816, is what has just been pictured in the October and November issue of Peters Township magazine. And we are proud to say that it's now a part of the National Registry of Historic Sites. So this is quite a feather in the cap of the Peters Creek Historical Society, which is the owner and operator of this house and the property, and the sponsor of a number of community events to benefit the people of Peters Township. And the things that I find most interesting about the Wright House are, of course, its brick construction, the fact that those bricks were fired at the site and put into place. Enoch Wright was very much an anti-slavery individual, and when property was sold to the Methodist Church, there was a stipulation that there would never be a sermon preached that would be pro-slavery, which is a pretty cool thing. You have individuals, even up until the 1950s, 60s, and I believe the early 70s, who lived in this house. It was partitioned into apartments. Some of them are former teachers in Peters Township who actually used to live here. But now we get a lot of use of the Wright House for various community events. There are dinners that take place here. It's open for catering, which individuals can come in and have a reception there. But for me personally as a teacher, the coolest thing about it is we use it for the Civil War Encampment on the weekend of Memorial Day. And we take about 50 students there, both boys and girls, who pretend that they're either Union or Confederate soldiers. And they get to roam through this house and get to know it a little bit better. And they sleep on the grounds in tents, just pretending like they were Civil War soldiers between 1861 and 1865. And we have a lot of photographers that will come from local papers and take pictures. We reenact battles that are there. So to them, the Wright House isn't just a museum piece. It's a place where they had a really, really good time and learned a lot about American history, particularly the Civil War. Another cool thing about the Wright House to keep in mind is we don't have definitive proof, but we really believe it's possibly used by the Underground Railroad. There are a couple of places in the Wright House over here on this side where it would appear, at least from the rear of the building, that slaves possibly could have hidden there, or maybe even up in the roof area right here. We don't have definitive proof, but given the anti-slavery stand taken by the Wright family, it's a possibility. But I think that what people ought to do is this: give the Wright House a call, the Peters Creek Historical Society a call, arrange for a tour. Group tours are available as well. And whenever they hear that an event's being sponsored by the Peters Creek Historical Society, jump on that, come see what the building looks like inside, because again, it's one of Peters Township's most prized pieces of real estate.
As it has for almost 200 years, the Wright House stands as a symbol of Peters Township's great history. From the Wright House, I'm Grant Burkhart reporting for Headlines.
If you would like to find out more about the Wright House in Venetia or take a guided tour, call 724-941-5024 or 724-941-5710. On Sunday, December 2nd, the Peters Township Public Library held its annual tree lighting ceremony to kick off the holiday season. A children's holiday party held immediately following the lighting and a visit from Santa Claus added to the fun of the evening.
Though the war in Iraq is currently one of the nation's most controversial topics, many still show support for the United States troops. Here at PTHS, Eric Zalweski has done just that. Recently, the junior has been collecting various items to send overseas to the men and women risking their lives for our nation's safety.
I believe this is a good way to show that we care for our troops over fighting in Iraq, and even if you don't support the war, you should still support the troops. So a way you can do this is to go on to militaryconnections.com, and it has all the information you need to know about how to donate, so check that out.
From the Peters Township Media Department, thank you for joining us for Headlines.
We wish you an enjoyable holiday season and hope you will join us next month for another edition of Headlines. Signing off, I'm Phil Ferrara.
And I'm Brianna Lutz.